Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is September the 4th, 2023. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good, relaxing on this Labor Day. Hopefully, you're in the same kind of situation. You're relaxing, you're cool. If you did have to work today, hopefully you're making some extra pay. We love to see that. And if not, then damn. Tomato, tomato on the establishment for doing you dirty like that. I've definitely had some jobs where I did not get paid, like an overtime rate or anything like that, and I hate it. Not to mention that, like, no matter what the rate is, it's still not it's not fair, but, like, you know what I mean. You should at least get a little incentive. Please, give me something. Please. But yeah, hopefully you're having a good one. Hopefully the vibes are nice and tight. Let's see. I feel like I haven't talked about enough food, about my eats. I may or may not have mentioned some ramen. It was yummy. If I didn't, it was good. Bulldog, like the spicy ramen. So get that if you haven't. Let's see, but not the spiciest. I gotta stress that. Not the 2x spicy. That might be too much. It was too much for me, and I'm a spicy guy. So, with caution. Proceed. Let's see. But the other day I had a chicken and waffles, which is, become a house staple from Moi. Really enjoying that on like a weekly basis. But I added a bacon grilled cheese sandwich, and then I did some like cheesy potatoes on the side. So yeah, it worked out. It was really yummy. So yeah, things have been going well in the food corner, though. Times are tight right now. Things are lean. I've been like fantasizing about sour candy like a lot. Like I walked through the convenience. Like, I was at a gas station to get some beer, and I was just reminiscing on what it was like to have a Sour Patch Kid. I was like, you could buy them. You could just get some. And I'm like, the way your budget's set up, this beer is kind of your last big purchase of the week till Friday. But no, I mean, hey, it's good. Thank you, Milwaukee. You're the only candy I need. No, that's not true. I need more. I'm a candy monster. Let's see here. That's enough of the personal news, though. Like I said, we've been chilling. We're doing good. We're hanging in. I'm gonna do my usual classic startup, and then we'll get into some news. Ooh wee, ooh wee. Okay, from CNN. Zelensky replaces Ukrainian defense minister, citing need for new approaches. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has fired his defense minister, citing the need for new approaches as the war with Russia enters its 19th month. This week, Parliament will be asked to make a personal decision. I have decided to replace the Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Oleksiy Reznikov, Reznikov. We'll go with that. Oleksiy Reznikov has gone through more than 550 days of full-scale war. The president nominated Rustem Umerov, the former People's Deputy of Ukraine, to become the new defense minister. Let's see here. Let's keep reading a little bit more here. Verkhovna Rada, legislator of Ukraine, knows this person well, and Mr. Umerov does not need any additional introductions. I expect Parliament to support this candidate. So this shakeup is kind of on trend with what we were talking about before in terms of, in a previous episode, where Zelensky has been rooting out corruption. It's become a known thing that literally in the army department, where they drastically need people, recruitment's as low as it can be. We've already done this like necessary drafting. So, there were people who were bribing officials who were, greasing the wheels so that they could get out of the country, so that they could not fight in the war. And there's been some blowback over that. And It's kind of alluded to that the Reznikov resignation looks like of that nature, that like even though he wasn't directly involved, he's kind of caught some damage there, a little bit of area effect, AoE if you will. So, you know, let's just get some fresh faces in here. Let's switch off with someone like Umarov, who is someone they can, he has a good resume for it. He's been doing other things, other governmental roles, as well as Reznikov. He was also known for kind of doing that when he switched to become defense minister. So it's like, okay, cool. This guy can juggle a lot of balls. He's really good at being diplomatic. So yeah, let's have him in this position. So yeah, I mean, as of, what's going to happen with Reznikov, I don't think anything negative. I don't know if he's still going to be, working, with Ukraine and, in government, doing something else. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's just a bit of the lay of the land there. Let's see. In terms of like what's going on the offensive, the counter offensive is going. I haven't really heard anything outside of drones. At this point, it's really been a lot of drones on both sides. Ukraine is, continuously now pushing further, deeper into Russia. But at the same time, I haven't heard anything like casualties or anything like that. So it's more like they're just doing like damage to buildings and maybe like, planes or, aircraft. So, but meanwhile, on the other side, Russia is doing the same thing in terms of drone strikes. Just, usually there is a, deaths attached to that. So, yeah, that's kind of the front as it is. We can kind of leave it for now. Let's see here from CBS News. Louisiana's Tiger Island fire ruled arson. Officials say the largest wildfire in Louisiana state history has been determined to have been arson caused, state officials said on Saturday. Louisiana Department of Agriculture and Forestry reported on Saturday that it is asking for the public's help in finding a suspect in the Tiger Island fire. No details were provided on exactly how investigators believe the blaze started. Now, this was we've done a lot of fire talk. A lot of it's been, in Maui. Let's see, Canada. We've been all over the place with it. But I did miss this fire that took place on August the 2nd. Let's see, the Tiger Island fire, which broke in southwestern Louisiana's Beauregard Parish, has so far burned 48.43 square miles and damaged or destroyed at least 20 homes and structures. It remains only 50% contained. So, it's very unfortunate because, we talk about all these things and, there's a lot of circumstances. These are natural causing wildfires sometimes, which leads you to be like, well, yeah, we're saying natural, but then, go on the tangent about like global warming and things of that nature. But when it literally is man-made, that like someone is saying, oh, I'm a firebug and I want to see a fire and I don't care what happens. I just want to see something burn. To have that kind of like narcissism is kind of crazy to me. I remember being a kid. I used to really like fire. One of my weird little pastimes, I would sit in the bathroom, doing my little business. And I would just get bored. And this is before the age of cell phones, so maybe there's that. Maybe the internet did do some things for us, okay? Because what I would do when I was bored is at some point we had like a candle lighter, like powering out, you have some candles. So I would light a candle and I would like take tissue paper and light it on fire. And since I'm so close to the sink, I could just like, put it in the sink, whatever. And that was like my fascination with fire. But thinking back on it, it's like I said, you could have started a fire in your bathroom, and that would have been so stupid. That would have been so fucking dumb. So the fact that there are people out there that just have evolved on that fascination of just love of fire, whatever. Like, come on, dude. Like, the people's lives are at stake. Not to mention the literal environment itself is at stake. Like, you're doing things that potentially like nature doesn't recover from. Yes, there are natural causing wildfires. They do have like, potential uses in terms of like, hey, burns out some stuff and then there's new growth that's good for the environment. But just starting a random, just happenstance fight, no, that is bad. Don't do that. Fuck you. That's disgusting. That's disturbing. It's fucked up. So yeah, I do hope they get this motherfucker. I hope that, they get got. Because fire burns, babe. All right. On to the next thing. From the Los Angeles Times. I will say on this one, you might get paywalled if you want to look it up. But, it is a story. It's not too long. Boy was dressed for gym, so he was told to run, family says. He died amid triple-digit heat. Usually, though, before I keep going here, you do get paywalled, quote unquote, but you just have to give them your email. And if you don't want to give them your email, that's obviously annoying. So yeah, just wanted to say that. A 12-year-old Lake Elsinore, God damn it. A 12-year-old Lake Elsinore boy died this week after collapsing during PE class during a heat wave. Joshua Robinson, a student at Canyon Lake Middle School, died Tuesday after collapsing while participating in physical education class during triple-digit temperatures, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department confirmed. Amara Plummer told NBC Los Angeles that her nephew wasn't dressed appropriately for gym class and as a result was told to run. He was reaching out to the teacher saying he needed some water. He said he couldn't breathe. He was telling the kids this. Now, I've been in gym class before, and usually I remember for me, when I didn't come in dressed for gym class, for some reason I couldn't, I didn't have my clothes, I forgot to bring them home from washing them, whatever, or bring them to school from washing them. You would have to sit out, but you took a demerit, if you will. There was some kind of you can't do that. You would get a mark against you, and that's frowned upon. Don't do that again. Make sure you get your clothes. You gotta have your gym clothes. I've heard of weird side punishments where you have to sit out, but you have to do some tedious dumb work or some kind of aid work, and if you will. Once again, maybe you do get a demerit, some kind of thing like that. But to have to run in your clothes that aren't gym clothes, that seems counterintuitive from the jump. Just already from the jump, you're just being mean at that point. You're just oh, you didn't wear your gym clothes? You think you're gonna get out of gym? No, you're gonna run laps all day. And that just doesn't make sense to me because once again, the gym clothes are so that you don't mess up your clothes for the rest of your day at school. You don't mess up your clothing that you wore. So that's odd to me that was the punishment that was doled out from the get-go. There's really not too many details in terms of, the teacher, what was said, what happened, outside of, what, I believe the aunt, says, here in the GoFundMe, Plumber, I'm sorry. So yeah, it's definitely an unfortunate circumstance. I think it's extremely fucked up. I don't know what was motivating the gym teacher there outside of just petty malice. You know what I mean? I really would like to get an update on this story, just to see, if the school's going to do anything. But I don't know. I kind of highly doubt it. Let's see here. There is a statement that I think they put out. Lake Elsinore Unified School District confirmed Robinson's death in a statement, adding that grief counseling and resources were available to students and staff. In this difficult moment, we are deeply saddened to confirm the passing of one of our students due to a medical emergency on one of our campuses, the statement said. Our hearts are with the family, friends, and our school community. Yeah, he went into cardiac arrest because he didn't have water. He wasn't in proper, attire for this kind of heat and this kind of activity, and he died. So yeah, that's a fun way to word it. That's nice and light, very political, very, very safe. So yeah, I think it's fucked up. There's this kind of bravado that I think kind of comes with oh, well, kids are really sturdy and they're really durable and yeah, they might whine and cry a lot, but they can take it. But it's they're kids, you know what I mean? when you're young, when you're old, you have to be very careful. You know, your body is not processing the same way as a normal adult, an average, working adult body. That it's just not the same. And you need to be aware of that. You need to be understanding. Don't do the whole back in my day bullshit. Like, come on. I don't get what the punishment was for, why it was doled out like that. And then, like I said, that you don't just see the signs here and you say, "Oh, stop, kid. Okay, we've done enough. You ran a few laps. Hey, remember to put bring your clothes." I just don't. That's why I want more answers here. Like, this just feels like I'm missing something because this is just really fucked up, and I haven't heard too much outside of what I've gotten from Los Angeles Times. So yeah. All right, we got one more thing to go. We're actually sticking with the heat, which makes sense. It's still fucking hot. And that's the thing. I was really hoping, like, last week it cooled down a bit, but man, we are back to the heat. I've been sweating all weekend. It's Monday. We're still sweating. Whew. I know it's September, but yeah, to me, it's not fall till like we get to like maybe mid to end of September. And then we're really like, okay, we're getting nice and crisp. It's cool out. That's when it's the real good times. All right. Speaking of good times, I'm gonna take my last break, and then yeah, we'll do this. We'll finish this thing. Ooh, sorry for the squeaks. Ooh, yeah. All right. Our last article is from ABC News. Minnesota prison reaches resolution with inmates who refuse to return to their cells in heat wave. Now, I gotta say, most of my prison stories that I talk about are highly negative. They bum me out. They make me upset. They make me really mad and angry at the system. Don't get me wrong. This doesn't change or alleviate any of that, but this is a dub. This was a really cool out of nowhere dub that just landed on me, and I wanted to talk about it. A Minnesota prison has resolved without incident a situation involving about 100 inmates in one housing unit who would not return to their cells Sunday in what one former inmate there called an act of self-preservation amid highly dangerous temperatures in the region. The situation was calm, peaceful, and stable throughout the day, a Department of Corrections spokesperson said in a statement, adding that incarcerated individuals in the unit indicated dissatisfaction because the understaffed facility had to limit inmates' time out of their cells. Now, in this situation, essentially people were like stuck in prison cells, just with no AC. You couldn't have a shower, and you weren't even allowed out because they didn't have a staff. It wasn't because there any like violent activity had taken place. There wasn't any rioting, anything like that. This was simply, we do not have the staff, and so for safety reasons, you guys have to stay in here and literally melt and boil alive. And they said, no, we can't. We literally cannot do this. And they literally like just formed more or less on the spot, a group of like 100 people saying like, no, we can't. Like, you guys have to work with us and give us water, allow us to have like some showering conditions. Like, look, we are not wilding out here. Like, we are willing to sit here and talk to you guys and negotiate, but we are not going to go back into our cells until this is okay. And, until like our demands are met. And just this kind of like on the spot kind of mobilization paired with people, like, because they reached out to people saying like, look, the situations are really bad like here. And so families, of people like, tied to like organizations and the groups, they formed together and they started petitioning, they started protesting and stuff. And, some change actually happened here for these inmates. And I was just really fucking happy to see that happen. Granted, I mean, this isn't like earth-shattering, game-changing shit, but it's big, it's important, it's relevant. Let's see. The department confirmed that the inmates have been in lockdown status because of the holiday weekend, meaning that they are kept in their cells with limited access facility-wide to out-of-cell time for showers, phone use, and recreation. The facility remains on lockdown, and all inmates have been returned to their cells. So, like, that kind of situation is not humane. It's just not realistic. And I have to remind people that that is not what prison is for. Like, that is not what the punishment part about this is for. Like, you have to be treating people as humans. The punishment is that you are put into a jail cell for X amount of time. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you are treated like you are less than a human being, that like you aren't deserved air conditioning. Yet again, that is some weird like machismo style old world bullshit that we pull out where it's like, oh, like you like it's just a little heat. Like especially in these days, like we are hitting high temperatures where it's like, no, dude, it's not just a little bit of heat. You could die. And it's always been like that. You could always die from heat. Like that kind of shit is weird. I never like that whole throw some dirt on it mentality. Like get the fuck out of here, man. Like I'm not uncomfortable. I'm dying. Like these are things that you got to take into account. And I know, what is it, Stillwater prison. I don't want to say it's a notorious prison, but I do feel like I've heard the name before. So you know, I feel like it's like a prison of at least some renown. But like you can't just keep crying budget. Like, oh, we just don't have the budget concerns. A big thing for me growing up was watching a lot of like prison shows, a lot of like documents and stuff like that. And I always remember, especially like when I would listen to like some of the southern prisons, is a bit of a tangent, but like they would mention that when they would talk about these prisons, how like, oh yeah, these prisons haven't been updated since like, the early 1900s or like 1960, whatever. Like it's been long ass fucking time since these prisons have been updated. So like, yeah, like there's no AC throughout all the units. These are like the only thing we've really updated, no, or some places they haven't even updated the doors. Like, so it's like, okay, like that's not a good thing. That's a bad, like you would think this is something that you would want to improve upon, right? This is a prison. But a lot of times if they're not a private like kind of situation, that's not afforded to them. The government is not actually doling out the money. And maybe they should, at least for the humane part. You know what I fucking mean. That's the shit I really care about. I'm not trying to sit here and make this a robo prison. I just want to see people at least have, the essentials, the things that they need to survive. You should have water. You should be able to take a shower. You should have air conditioning. Shit. And this is me saying this is a person who doesn't have good air conditioning, like, outside of the penitentiary. Okay. God damn it. So yeah, I mean, that's really it. I think that's all I have for today. It's actually pretty light work. Hopefully you're having a good Labor Day. Hopefully you're getting that lasagna. Hopefully it's a really good day for you. I do have to show real quick, sorry, I gotta do it. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. If you'd like to become a newsie, I will dub thee. And I shout you out at the top of the month. I say your name. I plug a project you're on. It's good networking. Think about it. Let's see. Free ways to hit me up. IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. I'm on all the socials. You know where to find me or the podcast. Hopefully you're subscribed to the YouTube. It means a lot. Helps out a lot. Thumbs up are great. All the stars for the reviews. All the comments are good. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, so hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.